can we use Cabergoline for erectile dysfunction?
The short answer is yes, the long answer is no. And again, you're oversimplifying the scenario. Cabergoline is indicated specifically for prolactin elevation, okay? Prolactinoma. It is a dopamine agonist, which tends to lower prolactin if, and only if, the erectile issues are a direct effect of prolactinoma, and that is indicated by lab work along with signs and symptoms. You should have follow-ups as to why your prolactin levels are elevated in the first place. Sometimes there's a pituitary adenoma, which is more often than not benign. It is common with aging. Prolactin tends to elevate after sexual activity, after ejaculation. If you have not tested 72 hours or longer post-sexual activity, you should have a retest done. Don't run out and treat with medication for a transient issue, meaning temporary. Make sure that you first use the diagnosis of something to figure out the cause and address the cause before you go and just crush the end result, okay? If I wake up to spray paint on my house, I can go and paint over it and have a clean house, and tomorrow wake up to spray paint on my house again and continue to paint over it. What I want to do is go back to my surveillance camera and figure out who is out there at night spray painting my house so I can stop the problem at the root. So I don't end up just masking the paint every morning, right? No different than if we have a diagnosis medically of a condition that is causing a problem and we just go ahead and mask the condition without addressing the root cause. So first, make sure if you have a prolactin-related issue, figure out why. And if it is transient, don't worry about it, just retest it. If it is not transient, find out what is really going on there. And only then, if it is determined that this is something that is A, not a long-term issue that is going to cause you further problems, like brain cancer, right? I'm going worst case scenario here. Then go ahead and maybe perhaps treat the issue with a very low dose. And Caber is a very powerful drug. 1/4 milligram once or twice a week goes a very long way, but it does have some potential risk for heart valve issues down the line if used indefinitely. So be careful with Caber. You also don't want to crush your prolactin either. So don't just assume, well, I have ED, I'm just going to take Caber. That's not how it works. There has to be a reason, and certain medications are indicated for specific uses, and a lot of medications are contraindicated to other drugs or foods or supplements. So don't just go out there and buy something without consulting someone who understands professionally what is going on. And there's a reason prescription medications are by prescription. Don't just run out there and order some stuff online and just say, hey, I have ED, let me just try this and try that, because you're not going to end up in good shape.
I have no idea, Gil, but maybe that question was from someone that is using nandrolone, for example, and there you can have ED as well because of high prolactin.
So I've found that nandrolone doesn't necessarily elevate prolactin unless it is coupled with other compounds, which tend to, I've noticed that some, and I don't want to get into the anabolic steroid conversation here so much if we're keeping it on TRT, but there are certain anabolic steroids outside of nandrolone that will, and there are other 19-nor derivatives, which those in the know understand, that will cause some prolactin and progestin issues. And nandrolone, if we're discussing specifically DECA, is not one that is known to cause that at therapeutic levels. So I would venture to look elsewhere if you do genuinely have a prolactin issue. And when I say prolactin issue, I mean above 30. I know the ranges will tell you 15 to 19 or, would be the high end. It will be transiently elevated here and there. If you're consistently above 30, then it's something to address a little bit further.
Okay, thanks.